Dino.
Hey, Cooner, how you doing, man?
What's happening?
Nice. Look at this. Finally got some time to connect. Loving it.
Day has arrived. It's been a long time, right?
A lot of prep. Yeah.
I don't get paid this enough, enough to, we've had a couple test pilots doing this, getting the audio right, the visual, the lights, all that crap.
I think we've uncovered everything on how not to do a podcast. So I think we're good on that front.
You know what? Maybe our first show, ladies and gentlemen, next week. I mean, when we really hit the topics, that could be it, and there we go. Then we could just wrap it up in one podcast.
There you go. Yeah.
And it's going to go drop the mic and say we're done.
That would be awesome. Well, no, I want to do this for a while. I think this is going to be fun.
All right. By the way, did you get a free bowl of soup with that hat?
Why, yes, I did, sir. Clam chowder.
I had to say something.
Nice.
That's the best joke I had. So today, I think we just kind of want to do a quick intro about kind of like who we are, what we're doing, why we're here.
Yeah. So why don't we start with who are you? What's your name?
My name is Mike Kuhn from Gurnee, Illinois. Wanted to leave here about, 30 years ago, never did. Dean and I left. Dean Rutherford, the legend out of Minneapolis right now, right?
Yep. Been up here for 11 years now. Yeah. Spent a lot of time in Chicago. That's where
11 years
we met. But yeah, I've been up here just over a decade now. Yeah.
Wow. And you still have no friends up there, right?
No. Well, I got two. They're rentals, but
Okay. Does your wife still talk to you?
On Tuesdays. So tomorrow she'll talk to me.
It's your anniversary. No. I gotta remember the day. Dean and I have been friends for 25 plus years.
25 plus, yeah.
Crazy. And then we kind of want to just kind of give you guys a recap of how we met, what we did, what we're doing here, and kind of like our agenda moving forward. But longtime friends. We met, I think in my basement or
I think
party.
The wives worked at the same company.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was actually like a Super Bowl party or something that you had the first time that I came over. And you had that great big Rottweiler. What was her name?
Bandit.
Yeah. Big, impressive dog. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. She was the best dog. Taught her how to tied a old gym towel on the refrigerator door in the basement. Taught her how to pull that, open it up, and get me a can of beer and bring it to me.
Yeah, and she only broke open every third can, right?
When training her to do so, she punctured a lot of Miller Lite cans. But
awesome.
No, we met. That's when you met Charlie and the gang.
Yep, Charlie. Well, he's the one who survived all the longest, right? Now we've got a few new names in the mix.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I was disc jockeying at the time. I started. Had a passion for music when I was little. My brother and I used to do the fake recordings. We acted like DJs as a kid growing up, and got into DJing. This is going back to Turnstile, records.
Yeah. When you did it for fun, clearly, right? Because that first unit you put together wasn't made to move around. It weighed like 100 pounds or something.
Yeah, I've always been a guy who kind of overdo things. That thing, well, I was thinking of my friends because they keep you in shape, so that's why I made it that heavy as a car.
Right. So we'd get a workout moving it around. Well, that was very thoughtful of you. Yeah. Nice of you to do that.
So Dean and I met, we became friends. He just one day said, "Oh, I want to do that." How do you do that stuff? Because we were doing nightclubs and bars and weddings,
private shows. Always had at least one club gig going at a time, though. That was really fun.
Yeah, your stint was more like the Greenleaf Bar and Grill in Park City.
Yeah, I think that's where I cut my teeth. Yeah, spent a lot of nights there. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, I think we actually made enough money to cover the beer tab most nights.
Barely. Yeah, barely.
Break even. Yeah. And there, you've had other places. We'd had a little bit of a gig at a country place for a while, right? And then we had place way up north that was kind of a cruisers kind of place, and nobody really wanted the music, but they liked having us there. Rafters, yeah. But there was a few along the way, right? You used to actually spin records at Poor Richard's, right?
Yeah, Poor Richard's Bar and Grill, PR, is back in Gurnee, Illinois, off of Old Grand Avenue. It's not even there anymore. They leveled it. That area used to flood every spring and every bad rainstorm, and but it was Mr. Poor Richard himself. Richard, his motto was home with a 7-day weekend. And when we turned legal age, and be very honest, probably I was going there since I was probably 17, 18 years old with fake IDs, but we were there probably a good 6 days out of the week after softball and everything. But that's kind of how the gist of it, how we got close. You always had a kind of, because people that DJ, I think everyone's got to have a passion for music,
Yeah.
You're kind of a quick study when it came to not only playing the right tunes at the right time, but reading a crowd, which
that's the part that I definitely had to learn under your tutelage. I had songs that I liked. I don't always go right for the theme of the club or what the crowd's doing at the moment. So that took me a little while to pick up on, but it was fun learning. And really quickly when you made the wrong choice, the crowd just goes
dissipates. Yeah. So we had my wife, she goes crazy every time we go to a wedding, because the disc jockeys there now, I always say they're just DJs. And she goes, well, that's their job. And I go, we weren't. Yeah. I always say we're like the master of ceremonies. We control the tempo, the flow. When I used to interview bride and grooms, when we were doing weddings, I said, people will forget about if the baked potato was cold or Uncle Bob didn't show up at the last minute. They'll remember if the music was bad, and they didn't, we always had the motto of like, they danced, their feet hurt the next day because they had such a good time and they danced. And even people that normally didn't partake in dancing a lot or whatever, was kind of like turning the switch on for everybody. We will get to a story down the line and in some podcasts where we had a gentleman that it goes in the record books that the bride's father, she said, you'll never get my dad to dance. And we'll touch base on that. We did a very good job. I guess we can say that. Yeah.
I do the same thing at weddings to this day. When we would go and we'd run the show, from the time we started cocktail music, dinner music, to the time we were packing up, it was never silent, right? You were either talking, you're playing a background song, getting things set up, transition from dance music to club music to slow dance to whatever. There's no dead air, right? And I hear that all the time at weddings now, because everybody brings in their little iPhone or iPad or whatever and download music and think because they have music, they're a DJ. Well, there's a lot more to it than that.
Absolutely. There's it was at least a couple of years ago. We were up in Johnson Creek, Wisconsin, to a wedding, which is, I don't know, about an hour from here north. And they called for the bride and groom to do their first dance, and neither one of them was in the room. So the guy didn't know what to do. It was no music because he had queued up the bride and groom's song on, like you said, like his phone or iPad or whatever.
Right.
He couldn't think on his feet to kind of move along and play something different to fill the gap. It was just like dead air. And everybody in the whole joint is looking for the bride and groom,
Yeah.
I'm like, I go, see right there, that's terrible. So anyway.
And I'm sure your wife just loves hearing the critique every time you go to one, right?
So check this out. Everyone can see because I'm old, it's the biggest iPhone you got, because I have certain songs on my phone just for weddings. Like our song, my wife and I's wedding song. Every time, if you didn't want to play a song at a wedding and someone asked you, can you play this? What would you tell them? You don't have it, right?
Sorry, I don't have that with me.
Oh, you know what? That's an awesome song. I should have packed that. I don't have that one. Give me another one. Right.
Right.
Well, DJs still do that, right? So I'd be like,
Right.
oh, well, that's okay. I see you got an iPhone. I have the cord, and here, play it off my phone. And they look at me like, some bitch.
Yeah, you're everybody's best friend, aren't you?
Yeah. And I'm like, all right. You. So is that next or?
Yeah. I'll go get my wife now. You want me to?
My wife.
Here, I'll clear the floor.
She's sitting down because she won't go up there with me, and
right.
she'd just be shaking her head. But we'll get in. We have a ton of funny stories, some sad stories. We want to do this podcast and kind of tell everyone. I think a lot of our stories is going to resurrect a lot of maybe past feelings or situations that male, female, young, old might have encountered in the past and go, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think people are going to relate. They're going to know somebody who did the same thing, or maybe in some instances, you were the guys who did that,
right.
Occasionally. So that's kind of the theme here, ladies and gentlemen. Name of the show is Random Conversations, right? So two guys that have a bit of a history together. We want to talk a little bit about things we've done in the past, things we want to do in the future. Hopefully you can relate that to things that you've done and keep you entertained along the way, I think.
Pretty much. After it's all said and done, not only with our past stuff, but our friendship is kind of, it's been there the whole way. And I think it's a combination of things that we both had passion for, or we liked. I mean, we'll be talking about sports and golf and friends and a lot of music along the way, but we have a website that we want to promote to you guys to kind of, keep us in mind for things down the line, that you can reach out to us with comments, suggestions.
Ask questions, tell us a story you've got. We'll see if we've got one parallel to it.
Something like that. That's for sure. I think I have, let's see if it'll play. I don't know. Can you see that?
Yep. There you go.
Yeah.
MikeandDean.com. Yep.
Yeah. www.mikeanddean.com. There's also a info@mikeanddean.com that you guys can reach out to us. But we were going to keep this one kind of short and sweet, kind of tell you what we're doing. I think the next podcast, I think we got a doozy for everybody to come out of the gates pretty hard. But anything else you got, Mr. Rudebaker?
No, I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be a good time. Got some stuff we got to get out there, right? We got to share it with the people.
Absolutely. I think we owe it to everybody.
Exactly.
We might be very embarrassed along the way, but that's all right.
Yeah. I don't know if we're smart enough to be embarrassed. I think we're just going to laugh at it.
And there you go. All right, folks. Like we said, we're going to keep it short and sweet. Until next time, keep us in mind, but you can always go to www.mikeanddean.com. Share your thoughts, comments, concerns. Dino, we'll see you next time.
All right. Thank you, Michael. Talk to you soon.
Got it.
Day after day, I'm more confused. Yet I look for the light through the pouring rain. You know that's a game that I hate to lose. And I'm feeling the strain. Oh, it ain't shame. Oh, give me the beat, boys, and free my soul. I wanna get lost in your rock and roll.